Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Scorching Hot Takes podcast. It's the day you've all been waiting for. It's the Reacting to Hot Takes Part 3.
Yeah, this is our third one.
And this is the 2025 music edition. So all these takes from you guys are to do with music from this year. So we're going to be bouncing back and forth off each other with our thoughts on the takes. And fingers crossed, maybe you'll be in here. If not, there's always next time.
Yeah, we always try to pick a range of different people, seen some familiar faces as well. So thank you very much to everyone that has been supporting us for a while, as well as everyone just submitting their takes. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Offering each of us different opinions, like just community sentiment throughout it all. So shall I kick us off? Because we've got one from Jack Wild. Lovely guy, met him at the Maruja gig.
Hi, Jack.
One of our long-term fans, much love. And he actually has a hot take in relation to Maruja.
Yeah.
He says that Pain to Power is over getting killed, and it's not even close. He says it's not close. So I'll kick off with what I think.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily against the thought that Pain to Power is better than getting killed, but it is close.
It is that I think I'm in the exact same boat as you.
Yeah.
I think maybe... Oh, it is really difficult, isn't it? I think that Getting Killed definitely has the replay value.
See, we've had this conversation we did it in the Red Album covers video. As much as, yes, typically Getting Killed structurally, the songs on there, you go to like something like a Cobra, it's so revisitable. And then you look at something like Born to Die on Getting Killed, 10 minute, like this massive post-rock, like apocalyptic soundscape sort of thing. You wouldn't think that that is like actually something that you want to go back to, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm hooked. Like I listen to this album on a weekly basis. So I do think it actually does have a lot of replay value for me, even though typically it doesn't. Like,
I kind of know what you mean. I think actually it's whether you judge this is maybe just based off what you value more in a listening experience. Yeah. I think that maybe Pain to Power blew me away more.
Okay.
Getting Killed, I love and loved straight away, and it just keeps growing and growing on me. Every song on there is just genuinely incredible. However, I don't think there was much on there that surprised me and shocked me. I was like, whoa! Yeah. Whereas that was the entire Pain to Power listening. It's just blown away the whole time. Getting Killed definitely has stuff that does that for me. Like there's like loads of experimentation on there that's really peculiar. And even on some of the more like catchy songs that have that replay value, there's still like peculiar stuff going on. Like I can't remember what song it is, but when we first listened to it on the reaction video, there was that really weird gritty bass underneath it. It might be Cobra. No, it's not.
I think it is. I think he picks up on it. I think, well, we can check the live reaction we did. A little plug on there.
Yeah.
That was on the channel. That's one of our probably favourite like reactions we've done together this year. But yeah, there was this definitely, it's very interesting. It's artsy and it challenges you as a listener in ways. But I do think that without saying too much, because I don't want to give away too much about our album of the year list, which will be an upcoming video that you'll see on the channel soon. Very excited for that. I don't want to give away too much, but I actually do think that Pain to Power is better than Getting Killed, and that's all I will say.
I'm really not sure. Can I just sit this one out and be like, because I don't. If I was to say that one was better, I won't be able to give a reason that I think is a genuine reason.
Well, when it comes to album of the year list, I'm probably assuming they might both be appearing. Yeah. So you're gonna have to. We can't have a joint placement.
Spit my dummy out.
Yeah, that's all I have to say for that one.
Okay,
probably reasonably good take, but it is close.
Yeah,
it is close.
My turn. We're going pretty local right now. This is from C. Gilhooly or Gilhooly. I apologise if I got that wrong. The North should be way bigger than they are. Should be like 80k monthly listeners by now. I'm not even joking. I think 80k is harsh.
Genuinely.
They're so good.
If you look at bands in the same realm, and I don't know, someone will have to fact check me in the comments. Don't know how many monthly listeners like Kia have, but they're making a lot more than the North. They're making waves, and I'm not joking. Just based on like music they have released that I've heard, because I know there's a big buzz about seeing Kia live and stuff. We've still not managed to get to them, but I prefer the North's music in terms of studio material.
I do.
And they are genuinely the best of that classic, like, indie rock sound.
Yeah.
Bit of, like, post-punk revival in there, bit of garage rock revival in there. But they have such a unique sound as well. Like, Kobe's guitar work is genuinely amazing. Sean's drumming is just ferocious.
Yeah.
Macca's bass, especially on some of their stuff they've got upcoming, is just
drives it so
absolutely
nicely,
ridiculous. Like the rhythm section's best it's ever been. And Billy, I love his voice, and the fact that he uses his like local accent is something that a lot of people might like overlook, but it does give it a lot more personality and identity and authenticity, which is everything I'm looking for in an upcoming band.
Yeah, I massively agree. And I do think you are actually right. The Kia's not a bad comparison because I feel like maybe stylistically they could be put within a similar box, but I do just think the North have got so much more about them. There's a lot more promise there. There's a lot more. They have managed to sound so unique within a genre that feels very rinsed at times.
Yeah, rinsed is a good way to put it. And I'm sure we'll be getting onto a lot more of that later in this episode. But yeah, as well for me, is they make a very accessible sound, and there's no detriment. Like I'm a big defender of pop music in general. Like it serves a massive right in all of our lives. But that's the thing. I do feel like they are like deserving of a bit more sort of actual exposure and widespread success due to how replayable their music is. Like you just stick it on all the time. It's so good. But yeah, and also one little thing as well. Measuring an artist's success on monthly listeners is just like, get out.
It's silly. It is. I mean, think of like some of the people with the most monthly listeners on the planet. I promise you that the North are better than them.
Genuinely. Unlucky Taylor Swift. All right. Oh,
Yoga.
Max,
I don't want you to be messing around with your phone this whole time. Get your hot takes up.
I'm up. Right, we've got one from Cam Ryan 99. Inhaler's Open Wide album has been one of the best indie albums to be released this year. Definitely their best album for sure. I'm not joking. Maybe it's their best album, but it's still bang average, middle of the road.
So I didn't listen to this album when it first came out. I listened to it in preparation for this video after that hot take. And at first, with the intro in particular, I was like, okay, this sounds like it's going to be well produced. The percussion on the intro, I was like, okay, I can get behind this and everything. And I was hooked for about a minute tops. And then I was like, by the end of the intro, I was like, that was an alright song. Second song, I was like, that was a fine song. And then after that, it was just everything was like, as much as they're not necessarily don't sound the same, all the songs were doing the exact same thing. So formulaic, so boring. They don't have their own sound. They sound like anyone. By the end of it, I was like, well, that was just like a good, I don't remember how long it was, let's say 45 minutes. A good 45 minutes that I'm not going to get back, which I could have been listening to something much better.
Yeah, and even if you're comparing it to other indie releases this year, we were just talking about two of the best. Geese is Getting Killed, Pain's Power by Maruja.
Yeah.
Both of them, indie albums, yes, they are different from your typical indie rock sound, but that is what indie means. So I'm comparing it to other albums that fit that term. It's not even coming close. Yeah. It's not even remotely close. Like
it was just, that's the word. It's just boring.
Yeah, and melodically, it just feels very uninspired, formulaic, as you said. Like,
is it Inhaler that the frontman's Bono's son?
Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think so. Oh, I'm not sure. Someone will have to fact check us. Oh, you can do.
I'm going to do a quick fact check now.
I'll.
Yes, I was correct. Elijah Hewson is Bono's son, and I mean, not to just. I mean, we're not talking about U2 because we're talking about 2025, but the boringness of U2 seems to be hereditary.
A little bit of an older hot take slipping in there as well. Yeah, definitely agree. It's just so like it's painfully inoffensive. That's the way of putting it. It's like it's not bad, but it's so boring that it's like watching paint dry.
It could not be more average. If anything, I would like to listen to a bad album more. Like recently listening to
Danny Brown's Stardust.
There is
a hot take we'll be getting onto about that, so we'll save our thoughts. Okay. We'll save our thoughts.
All I'll say is entertainment is sometimes more important than quality.
Hey, music can offer you different things.
Okay, and next we've got one from Eli, who says, the rollout to Carti's music is one of the greatest album rollouts of all time. The hype that album generated has never been seen before in rap. I'll let you start, because I feel like this is more your most familiar territory, and then I'll give my thoughts after.
In terms of like hype for a rap album, yeah, definitely of the year, the most anticipated rap album, 100%, especially in the mainstream for a year. And I'm going to throw like my own hot take out here just to add to this. This has been the worst year of the decade for mainstream rap. So many disappointing albums from so many artists. Carti is one of the standouts. And as much as I don't think that music is perfect, it's quite bloated. it's still much better than you look at like a Jack Boys 2, you look at a Wham by Lil Baby, Gunna's album, I don't even remember it, just so boring, so many more. But if we look at the rollout, I actually don't think the music rollout was good. Like, it was so drawn out, a lot of lying to his fans, and I know he's known for that, but that's not cool.
Yeah. You don't get all the points for being a twat.
Yeah, there's so many lies. The singles that he released that didn't then actually end up being on the album, and they were on an extra edition. It was all just a bit messy. He didn't even know his own track list on the stream with Kai Cenat the night before. It was just a whole load of like, he has such a cult following, and he was just being so complacent, just doing what he wanted. And it works. The rollout wasn't good. It's just the fact that he's cultivated such a strong fan base that makes it feel.
The thing is as well, so obviously a whole lot of Red era, you and Drew were really, really into Carti. I was kind of into Carti. So I feel like even though if it wasn't my favourite, I kind of understood everything that was going on in that realm. And I feel like, and as since Whole Lot of Red, the next Carti album was so anticipated, and finally there was rollout going, and as much as some of the songs that came up before the album were received really well by the mainstream and some Carti fans, I know that there was some saying straight away, this isn't Whole Lot of Red level, which I agreed with, even though I'm not the biggest Carti fan anyway. But maybe having all that generated hype and some of the songs did get really good recognition, if the album had been dropped in when it should have been, and it had actually lived up to standards, then I could see it being one of the best album rollouts of the last decade or so in rap. However, the problem is part of the rollout is also then delivering on the final product, and music was not that good for me. Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, if you look at it more of the rollout, I don't look at the quality of the music as much. But what I will say is, I actually think it wasn't the music rollout that was good. I think the rollout to Whole Lot of Red was so good, and the post rollout of Whole Lot of Red was even better. Yeah. Because that's where all this, like, the aura and the cult fan base aesthetics, like the Halloween outfits and stuff, was all like this post Whole Lot of Red marketing. I actually think that was better than the music rollout itself, and it sort of then coincided a little bit. But just to compare to other rap rollouts, Let God Sort 'Em Out is probably the best rollout I've seen this year. Not even just in rap, but just amazing rollout. But as well, like Utopia's rollout this decade was better. Eternal Take earlier on. Carti's Whole Lot of Red's rollout was literally better. So it's not even in the conversation for best rollout. Yes, hype-wise, but I don't think that was
when I say that, that's all I mean is hype, because I mean, obviously it's Carti. Like, there's always going to be that crazy hype, and there was. It was inescapable.
100%. And then also, I would just say, like, post rollout as well, because I think that comes under it. Not like anything much going on.
No,
I feel like the whole Antagonist tour, like, that's great and all, but he went and supported The Weeknd on tour straight after dropping his highly anticipated album, which kind of then just, it feels like a bit of a disconnect, and I don't know, it was messy.
It feels like with Whole Lot of Red, it was like it got dropped, and then Carti, the whole branding, everything was kept pushing it forward and forward. I feel like music got dropped and he's gone, right, well, I'll leave that then.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
It's not done. You can't just drop an album and leave it. You've got to drop it and then push it.
Yeah. And well, that's the thing. He's on about dropping Baby Boy, and he has been saying that literally since the album came out. It's like, let this one live first. Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on. We've got one from Daniel Gibbons. Again, apologies, but we've got one saying that Wolf Alice's album, The Clearing, isn't spoke about enough for album of the year. Do you want to kick us off?
I probably do agree. I've only listened to this once. It not my favourite album I've ever heard. However, I did really like it, and I've not seen it mentioned once. So I do probably think, it's not talked about enough. The intro in particular, I was like, wow. I need to listen to it again, because like I think I said to you, I was kind of 50-50. I was like, that was really good, and then I was like, that was okay. That was really good. That was okay. So I did think it was a good to a great album straight off the bat. But so I probably agree, because I've not seen it be spoken about as much as other albums.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely underrated. Ellen's vocal performance across the whole thing is just incredible. Stupendous. She's got such a good voice. I don't think it's quite as good as their last release, Blue Weekend. I think that's probably their best. But yeah, there's so many amazing songs on there. Like Play It Out gave me vibes of Angel on a Satellite from Magdalena Bay's album last year.
You've got your rash thing again, by the way, but it's on the side of your head now. Health concerns.
Health concerns.
If there's any doctors out there, what's that?
Anyway, yeah, Play It Out reminded me of that. Quite a very emotional album, and I think they are still kind of categorized in this dream pop lane, but they had a few more like grungy textures at times. I did actually really like some of the more rocky songs on this, like White Horses, and then like Bread Butter. That was definitely up there.
One of the things that stood out to me the most was like some of the string arrangements on the songs.
Yeah,
that
nice.
was just so lush.
It was nice. Yeah. For me, it's probably not actually even a top 10 album of the year, but it is underrated still because, like you said, no one's really talking about it all that much at all.
Yeah.
And that is unfortunate.
Okay, look, we'll go now with one from Alf, salute emoji. Forever How Long, Black Country New Road, isn't as good as people say.
Do you know, I actually don't, because I feel like there's a general consensus. Like you get the odd person that does prefer Forever How Long to other Black Country New Road albums, but I think the general consensus is that it isn't maybe as good.
Yeah.
So I don't know that, but I suppose what was it that people are making out that it's better than it actually is.
It's not as good as people say it is.
Yeah. I suppose it still has been received well, but I do think it is a great album and it keeps growing on me. Like at first, and for a good few months since it released, I'd listened to it a few times because I was like, this is Black Country New Road. Like there must be something I'm missing here. So they're the type of artist where I'm willing to give it like a couple extra chances because I know how deep and methodical their music can be, and you can get a lot out of it if you just sit with it. And it has grown on me so much because at first I was like, it's all right, it's good, but I know what they're capable of.
See, I'm still kind of in that.
For me though, now, I actually like, I know we've said this on a short we filmed recently as well. It doesn't give me the same feeling that An Answer From Up There does. But I don't go to it for that now. It's actually it's a nice chill one, but it feels quite warm to me. Maybe like as much as Ants is kind of like it's like a dichotomy of warm and cold.
Yeah.
I feel like this is actually just quite warm and has some nice sort of breezy like spring songs. I'm looking forward to listening to it in spring.
That's a valid shout, to be fair. I think that's maybe it. I think like it's automatically, to its detriment, is automatically going to be compared. And I mean, Answer 'Em Up There and For the First Time are such difficult albums to follow up from.
Yeah.
So I do kind of get it. I think for me, my initial reaction for this one is straight away I was going to go, yeah, I don't think it's as good as people say. But actually, I don't know because I'm not seeing that many people saying it lives up to the same standard. I feel like my opinion kind of is aligned with the general consensus. So maybe I disagree because I think most people say, oh, it's a good album. Yeah. But because I think maybe if anything, you like it more than some people because like I don't think I'm in the great category for me. I think good. 6, 7 out of 10. That was an accident. I'm sorry.
No, I do. No, I think people are praising it more than you think, but it definitely isn't to the same level as Answer Up There. Yeah. But yeah, still amazing songs on there. Like Happy Birthday, such a great track, as well as many more. But yeah, we'll move on to one from Jimmy Smith, who says that 2025 has been a shocking year for indie releases. And Cam Ryan, who we've just been speaking about his hot take, he replied and he said, no, in all capitals, big disagree. But then Jimmy Smith, he shot back and he said...
Not Jimmy Smith.
He shot back and he said, in my opinion, the promotion of meaningless crap laddish indie does my head in. The return of Oasis, not saying that it was a bad thing, it was not helping at all. Bands such as The K's, never in a million years should be getting a #1 album, and I think the scene is lacking in a breath of fresh air. Yeah. I could not agree more.
Yeah.
I could not agree more.
The Case is a good example, to be fair. I've listened to quite a bit of the Case stuff, not just this year, but like in general. And I do think it is kind of in the Inhaler category for me.
Yeah,
it's just a bit bleak.
And also, I'm not going to lie, it is like the fan base thing does play into the music because it's like the live shows I just actually don't want to go. It's even seeping into Wonder Horse a bit where their live shows are becoming a little bit unbearable just because of the atmosphere. Still a great band, but they're like one of the leading pioneers of this wave because they're a bit more like grungy. Yeah,
definitely.
And they have
Keo are as well, to be fair, which is why I think that Keo and Wonder Horse kind of feel like two different stages of the same Pokemon. Yeah,
but this is Cam Ryan also then shot back and said, Circa Wave, Sam Fender, Inhaler, Wolf Alice, Wet Leg, Tame Impala, come on dude, there's been some incredible stuff this year. Not gonna lie, Tame Impala's released his worst album, which I still think is a great album, but it is still his worst. So.
It's also not in that same category of
anyway, so that's not comparable. We've just spoken about Inhaler, mid.
Yeah.
Wolf Alice, yeah, good. Wet Leg, no. Sam Fender, I didn't think People Watching was his best work at all.
A couple of songs are there that I don't mind, but other than that, it's completely uninteresting.
Circa Waves, like, yeah, it's pretty generic again. A similar sort of category for Inhaler, where it's just a bit middle of the road and quite forgettable for me. So, I don't know. I actually do sort of, what was the original point from Jimmy Smith? He said that it's been a shocking year for indie releases. For you, like, and this is the thing, the classic indie rock sound, completely agree. For independent rock music, not necessarily, you just got to look in different directions, because I actually think it's been a really good year for the slightly left field and more artsy side of things.
Yeah, that's the thing. When we say indie, we're talking just about independent music, because that's like the actual definition, but also like now we're referring to that kind of genre of pop rock mixture, slightly alternative, but also mainstream, that's been labelled as indie rock, even though it's just a subsection of indie rock. It's kind of like, I feel like nowadays what is classed as indie rock is a pop, Britpop, garage rock mixture.
And a bit post-punk as well. I think post-punk
definitely at times post-punk's got influence,
Yeah, but for me, I do think that for that sound that we're describing that is thrown under this indie labelling, it has been poor. It has been poor.
Yeah, it's not been great.
And I also just think for the last few years, it's lacking excitement, and a breath of fresh air, as Jimmy says, is literally what is needed. We need someone to do something a bit different, which is why I'm so passionate about the North. Not that they're making the most left field music ever, but they have something about them. Yeah. It's authentic, and it's not
bland.
Yeah, which a lot of the stuff is. Anyway.
Next up, we have from Matthew. Don't Tap the Glass is top 3 Tyler albums. It's just so re-listenable and enjoyable, and is the best of him lyrically and musically way better than Chromacopia.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
Enjoyable wise, 100%. One of my favourite albums this summer. Like, probably my most listened to. If you look between the months like July and August, I was listening to this all the time. It's so fun. Short run time, under half an hour. You just stick it on. No misses.
Yeah.
It's solid and it's good fun. However, Tyler is such an amazing artist that has crafted some of the best albums that rap has seen in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And top 3, like, realistically, is like really like pushing it. Like really pushing it. I don't even know top 5. And I still really enjoy it. But Tyler's so good. Right, what have we got in front of it? Because I'll get on to
I've just got up our rankings for the albums. So
I know where I'd put it. I've given this one some thought. So I'd have Igor above it, Call Me If You Get Lost above it, Flower Boy above it, Chromacopia above it, and I'd maybe even have Wolf above it. But I don't know. That one's where it gets like it's slotting in at about a 5-6 placement for me in his discography.
5-6.
What? Oh my god!
I've Igor's above it, Cherry Bomb's above it, Flower Boy's above it, Call Me If You Get Lost above it, Chromacopia's above it, Wolf again, probably.
Chromacopia's above it, because I think you gave that a good rating, about a 7 out of 10. Would you not? I thought you preferred Don't Tap the Glass, maybe actually.
It's when you get to that area, it is quite close. Chromacopia, Wolf, and Don't Tap the Glass are probably all quite in the same range, around like a 7.
Yeah, see, for me, I think that Don't Tap the Glass is a great album, but I think Chromacopia is amazing. I think that album is so overhated, because like a lot amongst Tyler fans in particular, people just don't think it's actually as good. It's probably his most personal album. Amazing songs on there, Like Him, Hey Jane, and then you've got a crazy banger, like one of his best intros was Saint Chroma.
Yeah,
so much variety on there as well. It's so good. And then, like, as much as Sticky is a bit overplayed and it's a bit tongue-in-cheek, you get that from Tyler, especially on Don't Tap the Glass. So if you're a fan of that stuff, you can't then go and hate on Sticky.
So that was the thing. I feel like I go one of 2 ways with Tyler. I either want a jazzy, experimental, artsy, very emotional and lyrical focused hip-hop album on something like Call Me If You Get Lost. That's a really good example of that.
Yeah.
Or I want silly, braggadocious, a bit weird, and just edgy Tyler, which is why I like Cherry Bomb so much. Yeah. I feel like Chromacopia had neither of those things, because I don't think instrumentally it was good, production-wise especially, but I don't think I like the more jazzy, summery vibes from Tyler's stuff. I don't think I got that. And then I don't think I got that weird, silly Tyler as much as I would have liked. Whereas Don't Tap the Glass was more light-hearted, so I think maybe it was just more digestible. Chromacopy's never quite sat right with me.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are in the same boat as you. I think it's so like overhated, but
I don't hate it. I just don't rate it as much as others.
It's more dark. I do agree, but I think that is fitting for where he is in his career. There's a lot of mature topics coming through about fatherhood, starting a family, his difficulties with that. And it just felt fitting, and I thought it was just a really mature release for someone that in the past has been very like immature. And you just saw a lot of like artistic growth for me as a massive Tyler fan. But just coming back to Don't Tap the Glass, it's probably most similar in like musical style to Igor, which is just better. If you want that synth pop, neo soul R&B blend, you've got Igor.
And Igor's my favourite.
And Don't Tap the Glass, I'm not like disregarding it. I still think it's a great album, but top 3, come on.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to know, let us know which 2 others you have potentially above it and what would you have below it, because hard to compare, but like I said, I have about 5 guaranteed above it.
Yeah. I have a feeling that above that, it would be, for him, Igor and Chromacopia.
No, he said he's hating on Chromacopia.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Not Chromacopia.
I'll just be quiet and shut up then. Your turn.
If I had to guess, I'd go Igor and Flower Boy.
Yeah, no, you're probably right, actually.
Okay. Maybe. All right. Anyway, next one. Here we go. Stardust time. So, Nadasa17 says that Stardust or Alfredo 2 are album of the year and much better than Let God Sort 'Em Out by Clips. Let's start with Stardust, because we know damn well that is not like the heights of the other 2 albums mentioned.
Can we tell the story first? Listening to Stardust.
Go on.
Where was? Oh, it was
in my bed.
It was Well, I know that bit, but it was
after the Pink Floyd tribute.
It was So we went to the Pink Floyd tribute, and then we were in Sam's bed, and we were like, "Oh, we really need to put something on to just get the mood right."
No, we actually didn't.
Yeah, I know.
We said, let's go to sleep, and I was like, "No, Danny Brown's just dropped. We have to listen together." And we were like tired out, and we ended up listening, and as every Danny Brown album experience is, expect the unexpected. But I couldn't even expect what corner we were going to go around next, because I've never heard such a track list where every single song didn't sound like it was on the same album.
Yeah. And also, and this is what I was trying to say before, and I was saying about Inhaler's album, it's so bang average and inoffensive that it's less enjoyable than a terrible album that's fun to listen to.
Yeah, but we need to get that out there, because a lot of people people are rating this album like crazy. Like, obviously Nadasa saying it is potential for album of the year, better than Let God Sort 'Em Out. We'll get onto that in a minute, but we are in a minority that think this album is fucking shit.
It's just it's so weird, and I know it's Danny Brown and he is weird and the music's weird, but weird can be executed in a good way. On something like Scaring the Hose with JPEG.
Yeah.
Weird, but such a revisitable, incredibly high quality album.
It's fun and humorous.
Stardust was just fucking like a weird roller coaster trip when I didn't want to be on, but at the same time I was like, oh my God, I can't escape it. This is so funny.
Yeah, no, it was an entertaining first listen. How much am I going to go back to it? Literally not at all. There was a few songs that are good. Mm-hmm. And I think Danny's performances in all the songs is really good. Like, Danny didn't miss, and I just thought his rapping was quite actually leveled up. Like, a lot of the double time flows were really nice to see from him. He still had his usual charisma on the tracks. And just his funny personality was shining through. Everything that Danny did was right. I just thought the collaborations were an absolute mismatch. And I know that it was going for a hyperpop song. I don't even think it's a good like hyperpop album, but people are saying that this is like peak hyperpop.
On the topic of the features, that's kind of what I was going to say. I didn't mind a lot of Danny Brown's parts, and I thought the instrumentals on most tracks were kind of 50-50 Marmite. So weird. Sometimes I could get over it, sometimes I couldn't. The problem was, and I'm not even joking, I think out of genuinely, out of any album I've ever listened to, these are the worst features performances consistently ever.
Yeah.
I've never listened to an album that every single feature on there was absolutely fucking sick.
No, hang on. Kudeka and Jane Remover were not.
Oh yeah,
they were not bad.
They were the worst ones ever, but the vast majority were, I'm not even joking, horrific.
The Fentanyl collab was good as well, with the like more jungle like breakbeat drums. Yeah. That one was good.
It was like some of the verses, and especially the ones where it was like Flowers is what genuinely one of them.
Yeah, that one.
was
Like,
one of
that
the
one
worst
was
I've
awful.
ever
The
heard.
Underscores collab was terrible as well. Frost Children. That was horrific.
Green light.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
It's awful. Anyway, so that one's not up there for album of the year, and it's not on the level of Alfredo 2 and Let God Sort 'Em Out. I'm interested to see where you lie on this, because I think that you, if I had to make a guess, prefer Alfredo 2 to Let God Sort 'Em Out, whereas I'm vice versa, the other way around.
I think so, yeah. I think Alfredo 2, in terms of my taste of hip hop, is genuinely perfect. Smooth, quite chill at times, jazz samples, gorgeous, but then also has that like dirty head bop factor at the same time. I don't even know how to describe it. It just does something to me, that kind of hip hop, where it's just perfect because it's so like classic rap inspired. Let God Sort 'Em Out, I thought it was good, and especially, is it Chains and Whips? Is that what it's called? The second track.
Yeah.
That is a fucking banger, and that's such like a cool, interesting song. However, and this is what I was saying to you, The Birds Don't Sing, the intro, I think it's such an overrated track, because I've seen people talking about this album and I do think it's good and it deserves its flowers. I think maybe slightly overrated. But that song, people have been talking about that song as like one of the best songs released in all of rap in a while. I thought it was quite middle of the road. I think topically, I understand it's a deep message and everything. I don't think part of it is maybe it doesn't resonate with me, so it doesn't have as much of an emotional impact. But there is stuff that I've listened to where the message is not relatable and it still has a bigger effect on me because the way it's put across. For me, it just did nothing for me. Instrumentally was so uninteresting, and I just felt like it didn't feel as high standard as it should have been.
No.
The rest of the album, I do think, was pretty consistent, to be fair. Chains and Whips was a standout favourite, but Birds Don't Sing, I genuinely thought was like that's just like, that was one of the most fine songs I've ever listened to.
Genuinely, like, I can't even like get mad because I cannot disagree more.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like genuinely like, I'm not joking. This might be the worst take you've ever had. Like, I'm being serious. This genuinely might be the worst.
Just my opinion on Birds Don't Sing.
Birds Don't Sing, yeah. The rest of the album, like, you're giving it its flowers somewhat.
Yeah.
The fact you're saying it's overrated is crazy because it's actually not even like big. Because it's
No, but there's like a cult following of it that are like, oh my God, this is the best album in years. It's not.
Yeah, well, anyway, for Birds Don't Sing, one of, if not the most emotional song I've listened to this year. I cried when I saw it live. Every single time I listen to Malice's verse in particular on there, I choke up at the line, chivalry and dead, you ain't let her go alone. Just the imagery and how they go through their final conversations with their parents before they died. It's so raw. The emotional expression is literally like peak hip hop. Yeah. And I also think the context is important to understand as well. These guys, they haven't released an album together in like 16 years. Yeah. And they made like dirty, like dusty Kurt rap club anthems. Coming back, and the intro of that album is one of the emotional pieces ever. I didn't even know they had it in them.
I also didn't like the chorus. That's the other thing. I do think if I prefer...
No, the John Legend thing is just...
I don't really like John Legend, to be fair.
No. Just no. I think the imagery on that track is so emotive. It's so raw. It's one of them ones where, like, thankfully, my parents are still intact. So I can't directly relate with the message.
Intact, such a weird word. You could just say alive.
I was being weird on purpose. Alive. But it's one of them ones where it's the empathy that I feel listening to it and just how much of an open book they are. But I'm not even just focusing on that one song. That album is literally like all killer, no filler. There's like a couple of like things I'd tweak. I think the Dream feature was slightly unnecessary, and I do think All Things Considered is the weakest track on there. So it's not a perfect album, but other than that, that's still not like a skip of a song to me. The best rapping, potentially, of the 2020s decade on here. Like, I can't remember, I think it's Dissect Podcast or another one of those ones that do breakdowns. Go search it on TikTok or whatever and look at the breakdown of Malice's FICO verse. The number scheme on that is absolutely ridiculous. So talented. And it just gives, and they like double, triple entendres, just ridiculous. The imagery and the way they rap, their cadence, their flow, the rhyme schemes, everything is absolutely top tier. Pharrell's production, it's vintage. It feels a bit retro, but it's still got this like modern futuristic flair to it on beats like the title track and a POV. You're getting one of Kendrick's best features ever. The only one that maybe, only few that are better, one of them being with Pusha T as well on Nostalgia, when he also does the number scheme thing, and then his Control verse. But this is probably a top 5 Kendrick feature for me. I think Tyler has his best feature ever. I think I think that's Tyler's best feature on POV. And he re-recorded it 100 times because he wanted it to be perfect. Like, there's just a level of execution was absolutely top tier across the board. The Ab Liver feature, massive throwback, getting Nas on there as well. It's just legendary stuff. And like I said earlier, the rollout for me as well was the best rollout this year. The post rollout's been amazing live. The fact that Push is 48, Malice is 52, and they're still rapping like someone in their 20s, but with that matureness. That was the standout to me. Was unbelievable. They are very good rappers. Lyrically, it was really strong. Flow's so strong. The beats, for the most part, were just really solid. But I think the edge that Alfredo 2 has for me is purely a thing of Let God Sort Out just didn't connect and resonate with me the same. I could appreciate, and I was looking at it as a, it was like I was looking at it from the outside and I was like actually having to critique it and think about it. And it was like, I felt so separate, whereas Alfredo 2, I listen to it and it just takes it. I'm not listening to it like, I'm not sure about that. And I'm thinking, oh, like, it's not the same. I'm not separately looking at it. Alfredo 2 is genuine. Like, that could be my hip hop album of the year. It's definitely up there. Like, when I say that, like, God Sort 'Em Out is genuinely like, amazing. Like, still think that Alfredo 2 is an amazing album. Yeah. It's definitely up there. It's contender for like hip hop album of the year, 100%. But I just think that production, same level. You got Pharrell and The Alchemist, 2 of my favorite producers ever. Production, it is both like perfect rating, I'd give. The only thing that I think it genuinely gives it, and it does give it quite a lead for me, is Push's and Malice's rapping ability. As much as Freddie, in terms of flow and like delivery, is amazing, he just doesn't have the bars and the wordplay. And even though I do like his delivery, there is the way that Pusha and Malice rap, and they make you feel every syllable is just nasty. They rap like devils. There's so many funny comments online where it's like Pusha T raps like he's got a torch shining under his like chin and stuff like that. Or like Pusha T raps like he's in a room in your house and you don't know which room he's in. It's like that sort of stuff. Like devilish, like vicious energy. Yeah. He does have a really, really good voice. Yeah. Oh, it's just so tough. Like genuinely, it's just so hard. It's not quite Freddie Gibbs' voice though. Do you think Freddie Gibbs has a better voice? He does have a great voice. Freddie Gibbs has an incredible voice. Okay, next. This one's from Billy. More by Pulp is criminally underrated and is the best thing they've released since Different Class. See, I actually think it's another good thing. This has been the year of the returns. We just speak about Clips then. Pulp had an amazing return. Suede had a return. Few others as well, like they had like these return year, and I feel like people have like overlooked it. I feel like Clips have been given their flowers, but like more. I know, generally gets the initial release single. It was called Spike Island, wasn't it? Yeah. That went a bit viral and was a bit everywhere because it's like, oh, Pulp are back and everything, and then everyone forgot about it. And I feel like no one actually talks about when the actual album drops. Yeah, and let me just look at discography because I do think it has been underrated because I think it's been so overlooked. I do think in terms of a return album, the quality is very strong. I'm just now thinking, do I think it's the best thing since Different Class? I don't know if it's better than This Is Hardcore. It's probably close to that, but I think with More, it's one of them things. It was the same with like Songs for a Lost World with The Cure. It feels like they have like developed as musicians and just people. Like, I really like these sort of like return albums from a lot of bands and artists, especially when they put their all into it as if they are still like upcoming musicians. The thing that I best describe it as, they still feel hungry on the album. They're still very creative, and I do think it is like underrated. And I think maybe it's because. Maybe like liking Pulp now as an upcoming music fan is not cool as much as that shouldn't be a thing. But I feel like liking Oasis and that it's cool. It's the it factor. Yeah. Liking Pulp is a bit like, oh, you're a left field tosser sort of thing. Like, I agree. So yeah, my stance is I do think it's been overlooked and therefore it is underrated. Is it the best thing since Different Class? I think This Is Hardcore might be slightly better. Yeah. But it is definitely close to, so in the conversation. Definitely close. And it lives up to, as much as
I actually think that His and Hers is better than Different Class for me. I think His and Hers is probably my favourite Pulp album.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got Babies and Do You Remember the First Time on it? Like, they're two of my favourite songs of all time. But this is what I'm saying. A lot of Returns as well. It's like, oh yeah, this is still good, but it's never going to be like that. I do actually think More by Pulp, it still stands in their whole discography. It's probably mid-table.
Yeah. Or but like upper. I'd say like, maybe like.
See, I really like some of their really early stuff as well. Like, I like Freaks.
Yeah.
I think that's the debut. I think that's good.
Speaking of Returns though, probably the like second best one after Clips for me of the year is Deftones. So we've got one here from Mia Merchant 44. Deftones' new release, Private Music, proves that they haven't lost their touch. Cold take. Because it's not even saying anything outlandish here.
I also agree as well.
Haven't lost their touch. Like, that's an understatement.
Yeah.
This is 100% a top 5 Deftones album for me. I could even go as far as maybe saying top 3. Because I like the psychedelic textures. One of the most underrated things about the album is these subtle synthesizers that cut through the mix and give it this psychedelic edge. I really like Shayna's vocal effects. A lot of delay and echo adds to this very sort of heady soundscape. This is my favourite running album of the year as well. It's one I'm always sticking on because just the energy and the emotion and just relentless tempo, especially of the first half. It carries me while I'm running.
Yeah, see, I was really, not massively, but I was more into Deftones a few years ago, over the last couple of years in particular. Not really been bored about Deftones at all and very rarely revisited anything. Coin of Your Candle, I think, was probably comfortably my favourite album, maybe White Pony after that.
Yeah, I think White Pony is their best for me, yeah.
But then after that, as in listening to the new album from this year, there were some songs that I feel like I kind of regained my appreciation for them again, because I feel like this was so much more. It was developed. It didn't feel like, oh, they've peaked and they're holding on to whatever. It still feels like just a progression of their career in music. It doesn't feel like, oh, they had the time like other 90s and 2000s bands and they're doing a reunion album. It just felt like another one of the steps.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like, oh, welcome back. It was like they're continuing.
Yeah, to be fair, it's not really like a comeback album because it's like 5 years, but it's more like the longevity. They've been releasing albums for 30 years and they're still releasing some of their best material. That just speaks volumes. I mean, the track run of My Mind Is a Mountain, Lock Club, then, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's like Ecdysis.
Let me see.
The third track. That's my favourite on the album, but I still can't pronounce it. Ecdysis.
I'm not even going to try it. Probably.
And then Infinite Source.
Souvenir is my favourite. Infinite Source is my second.
I mean, you look at that track list, that is genuinely one of the best track list runs in all of metal.
It has some of their best songs on it.
100%. Like, it's just amazing. And I do think that maybe the second half's slightly weaker than the first, but the first half is in the conversation for their best first half of any of their albums.
Yeah, potentially.
Like, it's up there. I'm not saying it is the best, but it's up there. So yeah.
I forgot what was it just that it had? Was it just they haven't lost the touch?
Haven't lost the touch.
Oh yeah, couldn't agree more. Freezing cold. Yeah. Okay. Right then, my go. Oh no, I'm doing the first thing. Oh, I'm not even on my camera roll. Okay, so now we'll go on. So one from Michael. 2025 has been the worst year for new music in a long, long time.
Don't know how you can say that. I think it's between this and 2022 for the best years of the decade so far. 2022 obviously had so many amazing albums in different genres. You're looking at some of the best rap albums of the decade with The Forever Story and Melt My Eyes, See Your Future. You're looking at Answer 'Em Up there, Hellfire by Black Midi as well. All coming out in that same year is genuinely insane.
Yeah, that is a crazy year.
But then this year, I feel like there's more consistent highs. I feel like that year had maybe like the highest highs.
Yeah.
But this year, like I'm in the process of like prepping for album of the years and stuff. I started off with a draft of 65 albums for my top 10. If that doesn't speak enough, like and all the ones that are going to be appearing in my top 10, I genuinely think are going to be like minimum light 9s to strong 9s. I think they're all going to be like strong 9 out of 10 albums. And I think you said this word for word the other day, was that it's touched so many different corners.
Yeah, that's literally what I was about to say. I was going to say, over the last 5 years, even longer than that, but 5 years in particular, there has been years that have been really, really good, but most of the years that have been standouts, it's been for one realm. Whereas this year, I feel like there's been so much quality in so many different places. It's not been like the year for this kind of music. It's been just a year for good music in that place, that place, that place, that place, that place.
Yeah. I'm not going to give too many examples because you'll be able to see in my actual official list. I don't want to give too many hints at that. But like you said, my list is so diverse, and especially in terms of like the draft, like my honourable mentions as well, just prove it even more so. Like, I have so many different genres, different types of artists, different eras of artists in my like top 10.
Yeah.
And more. So yeah, what a year for music. It's great to be a music fan. That was a gassy one. Oh. Anyway.
Did you just do like when you fart out your chest and it smells a bit in your mouth?
Yeah.
I think it's what we've just eaten because I've been having the same.
No, fair. Yeah.
Too much piri-piri sauce.
Yeah. All right, we've got one from Tina, who says that McKinley Dixon's Magic Alive is better than Let God Sort 'Em Out by Clips. Not to Let God Sort 'Em Out's detriment, but Magic Alive is one of the best rap albums in a long time. For me, I've given Let God Sort 'Em Out its flowers. Don't need to continue talking about that. I genuinely do think that Magic Alive is a top 3 jazz rap album ever. It is up there with the Low End Theories and the Jazzmatazz.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
It's up there. It is such.
See, for me, it's nowhere near Low End Theory. I think
Low End Theory is probably the best of all time. Maybe.
I also think, I'm not even joking,
by Guru is probably
Tribe of Soul up there for me. That I would also put Midnight Marauders.
Yeah, Midnight Marauders is also top 10, 100%.
Because I feel like it definitely gets talked about, but I feel like when people think Tribe and they think best album, they go straight Low End Theory. Midnight Marauders and that are kind of interchangeable for me.
Yeah, it's close, 100%. So yeah, valid. What would you say? Let God Sort 'Em Out or Magic Alive?
I'm having a really hard time with it because
you're on the edge of your seat. You know, you can sit back.
Can I? No, but that gets so uncomfy after. I'm just going to sit like this for a minute.
Picking up in your spots on the camera.
Let me slump. I think maybe, as of right now, my way of measuring it would be, because especially when it's not massively my thing usually, Magic Alive is more my thing, and I naturally just want to go back to it more, but what impressed me more?
I think it's still... Because I know you're a jazz rap fan, but you're also a massive Kirk rap fan. Look at Alfredo too.
Yeah.
And then...
Like, but Let God Sort 'Em Out didn't do the same thing for me as an Alfredo too. They are, as much as they both still come under Kirk, they're such different albums. I do think actually Magic Alive does probably take it for me, but it is close and I could see it changing, but I just need to sit with the albums for a bit longer. Yeah.
Magic Alive is so underrated. I've got signed vinyl up there.
Soulflex.
I was just going to give McKinley his flowers as a person. I saw him in Manchester. He was absolutely amazing. Lovely guy. Got a photo with him and he stuck around for ages after the show. So props to him. He just feels very genuine. Great performer as well. Mm-hmm. But looking at the album, so underrated. Such a concise track list coming in under 40 minutes.
Maybe that's what I'm saying as well, because I like an underdog. Maybe that gives. I'm
not joking. The Clips are underdogs. Like I feel like you're like maybe
they're bigger than McKinley Dixon though, aren't they?
Well, yeah, of course.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I feel like you're almost thinking like, oh yeah, Clips is like overrated. They're like I think the problem is...
I don't mean it like that. It's not like, what everyone's talking about. It's like the people that are talking about Clips, I'm like, come on, it's not that good.
Me then. I think the problem is Fantano's 10 always like skewers, like ruins everyone.
What did Fantano give it a 10?
Let God Sort 'Em Out gave it a 10.
Oh, fair. Well,
but he gave McKinley Dixon's Magic Alive a 9, I think. And that shouldn't be how people decide music, but it does obviously have such a weight on music discourse, and I feel like that's maybe why it comes across a bit overrated. But yeah.
Credible sources on. I wonder if we have an effect on people's opinions on things. I think Fantano's so big that when people see what he says, they kind of either go the way of, oh, he's a credible source, or maybe he's right about this, or some people just hate Fantano, like, oh, fuck Fantano, I don't agree with him. What do you reckon? Do you reckon we just put people off things, or do you reckon people are like, actually, maybe they're right about things?
Oh, well, let's ask the audience.
Are we a credible source, or do you think we're just a couple of weirdos?
Yeah, anyway, just to give Magic Alive a couple more props, because I do think it's a massively underrated album. Definitely go check it out if you haven't. And it is up there for Rap Album of the Year as well, 100%. All the ones we've mentioned in this video so far, other than Stardust, are definitely up there. And for me, the concept is so good because it's like abstract enough to give you your own thoughts and you use your own imagination. Like I have different thoughts and feelings listening to different tracks all the time, but then also has the actual direct storytelling about three friends wanting to bring the fourth back to life, and just that youthful nature about like when you're actually not sure, like, is magic real? It just has a beautiful, bright innocence to it, and a really strong sense of like community and belonging and like peace and like love, all that. It's such a warm and powerful album, but also then deals with some quite dark topics. And it's actually it's one of them ones where it's like really joyful, but touches me in that way where I'm like, almost like where you shed one tear, no more than one. But it's like, oh, that's such a thought-provoking way to look at such an interesting dynamic.
And it's got that on God Sort 'Em Out for me, because Let God Sort 'Em Out didn't have any emotional effect on me at any point.
Whereas you're like,
and you know what,
you must have been like a pebble on that day. So the best at seeing like how that's because
the chorus was just a bit like, this is like a bit naff and probably a bit corny, and then.
Bro, a song about two people's parents dying is far from corny.
No, but it's not the topic that was corny. It's it's the way it's portrayed. Like the John Legend.
It's heartbreaking. It's heart-wrenching.
No, the topic is, yes, but the way it's translated, it's like, oh, this feels like
gives you chills. Gives me chills anyway.
Yeah, I know it does. But that actually, I will 100% give it to Magic Alive, because if we're just thinking track for track, I do think they're both pretty consistent in their own range of how good they are. But I don't think there is a song. I don't think I prefer the birds that sing to any song on Magic Alive. I think every song on Magic Alive is better than that one song, and Magic Alive has the best song out of the two albums with We Outside Rejoice.
I agree that that's the best on there. Don't agree it's the best between the two albums. I don't even know this is the thing, and this is why I know that, I mean, both of them are such good albums, but this is why I know that like God Sort 'Em Out is something special. I have a literal different favourite song every single minute of the day. So much quality across that track list. But yeah, both definitely up there. Shout out to McKinley. Definitely needs to see some more love. Is it my turn? No, it's yours.
No, it's my turn. Okay, now we're going. Laos the Cat released a top 5 album in terms of storytelling. I assume that means I assume talking about top 5 of the year, not ever.
Yeah. We'll keep it to this year anyway. That's what we'll infer it as. Top 5's an understatement. I literally can go as far as saying I think that this is the best storytelling. I think it's the best in terms of concept album achieving the delivery of a story concept album. It is the best of the year in terms of overall narrative. In terms of the musicality that comes with it as well, I do prefer Magic Alive as an overall album. I think that's a good comparison. Both like rap, jazz rap concept albums. McKinley Dixon's like musicality of it and like replay value is more up there. But the storytelling and just effort into just this whole like fable narrative that you get on the Mocking Stars by Laos the Cat is so deep and just like, again, thought-provoking. And we said this while we were just giving it a listen again while having tea. I was saying that I really enjoy how it feels quite childlike. You've got this fable narrative. It's quite whimsical. It deals with like, it's got a bit like fairy tale-esque to it in terms of some of the deliveries and the interludes and stuff. But it's dealing with a lot of like mature adulthood issues like mental health, addiction, loneliness, so on. And I feel like it's a really interesting way to look at it because it kind of does just show, and I get the same feeling with Magic Alive actually, they're both very like mature and relevant albums, but they also have like a youthful innocence to both of them. And it kind of just shows that we all still have a bit of child in us. Yeah.
One of my main standouts with the Last Cat album is like, I really, really enjoyed the almost, like you said, like a bit whimsical, theatrical storytelling and world building within the structure of the tracklist and with the interludes. It reminded me a lot of the effects that the narrative through Sgt. Pepper's has, but also Hellfire, Black Midi. As much as all three of those albums are so different, they do the world building in the same way through the tracklist, and I thought it was just as effective in terms of that as those two.
Yeah, not to get too bogged into Sgt. Pepper's, but as a concept album, that's so overrated because a lot of the songs don't even like fit the brief.
But you know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is it feels like going to see a performance, 100%. And it's gone through like. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, 100%. Do you know how I'd love to see this in like a really like small like underground like theatre setting?
Yeah,
with a lot of like upcoming almost like amateurish like volunteer actors and stuff, and it just be really raw and authentic. I feel like that just suits like obviously Laos's whole like anonymous sort of portrayal. Anyway,
everyone has to wear like masks like at the the Rothschild ball. Whatever.
I feel like that would be just so cool because it's a theatre performance. It's very theatrical. It's very performative, and it feels like, and it creates such a like vivid image in my mind, all the different moments of the album, that to see it actually acted out would be really cool. So I don't know if Laos can work on that, but
your turn.
That would be great fun. We've got one now from R0W_4N, who says that Deadbeat shows that Tame Impala won't be able to reach his best again. And as much as my favourite artist, I unfortunately agree. I do think he has peaked.
Yeah.
And what a peak he did have. But I just think Deadbeat, it shows like a bit of, as much as I still think it's a great album, it's still got some really solid songs on it, like Afterthought, End of Summer, Ethereal Connection, My Old Ways, Dracula. This also is his least consistent album by far. And I feel like it does show a little bit lack of hunger, as I was saying before. I feel like he's almost come to a point now where he can be a little bit complacent, where he knows that it's going to go do well commercially and stuff, but he doesn't seem to have the same like innovative edge that he once did. And I feel like you'll agree with me on that.
No, I do agree. I feel like all of his past, actually, maybe not the Slow Rush so much, but still more so. As much as the Slow Rush is my favourite, and the realm that he goes into is my least favourite in terms of Tame Impala's albums, it still has that, I want to make this album.
Yeah.
All of his albums feel like that. They all feel like an album that wanted to be made as it was. Mm-hmm. It feels like a product that was calculated towards and achieved well. This just feels like, I probably should make some music again. Have a little mess about. I'm actually quite good at this.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing. Let's make some songs. Shit it out.
It does. It also feels a bit like a mixtape. It feels like something that he could have done. Like he said that he was for a period of time working on a techno album under an anonymous name.
That would have been better.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. I think that the like more heavily electronic influenced tracks are the highlights on here for me.
Yeah.
Like an Ethereal Connection and an End of Summer, they fit on the same album. But then why the fuck is Loser on here?
Yeah.
It doesn't. There's not an overall sort of macro purpose of this album. A lot of the songs feel out of place. They don't blend well together, and it doesn't really achieve the same world building that, in my opinion, all of his other albums do. Because as much as you don't like the Slow Rush as much, still seemed like it had a mission.
Yeah.
And it was very like it was still considered. This is a bit loosely put together, and I don't think the quality control was as strict as it has been before.
Yeah. And it doesn't have a feeling. Do you know what I mean? Like all the other Tame Impala albums have like such a unique world and feeling that's created, and you can prefer whichever one you want, that they have their own atmosphere and their own aura and they take you to a certain place. This never got that. It never came together to create that thing. It's just, to me, an album that has some songs that I quite like on it and some songs that I'm not really that bothered about, and that's it.
And I'm not against like track lists that go into different styles. Like in Rainbows, there's so many different things, and you get a body snatch to a nude.
But it still creates a world. It comes together well.
You're getting songs like No Reply into Dracula, into Loser, into Oblivion.
Yeah.
And you're changing genres like each time. Like No Reply is this like low key, very minimal house dance effort, which is probably one of the weakest songs.
Yeah, that's not. I actually don't even think that's a good song. I think that's not
with
a great
a weird
song.
tacky piano piece put on the end that just feels very like improv and just didn't need to be there and was very like should have been left on the chopping board. And then you go into Dracula. Amazing, like pop hit, very sort of thriller vibes, great like Halloween party song. Then you go into Loser, which is this like somewhat bland like pop synth funk effort that again doesn't really fit. And then you go into Oblivion, which is like this Afrobeat, like reggaeton, like moody, atmospheric piece that almost seems at odds with itself. But then like there's no correlation between tracks here. It's just which is why I think, he has reached his peak, unfortunately. I still do enjoy the album, but it's one of them ones where like...
I don't think it's a bad album. I think it's an okay album.
I think it's one of them ones where like, I don't enjoy listening to the whole album experience, but I can't say that it's a bad album when I think there is amazing songs on there that I am listening to regularly still. So
yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, anyway, have you got any more?
Yes.
We must be nearly coming to the end of our lists.
Yeah. Okay, I've got two more, so...
Yeah, and I've got one more that will be worth. So we do one of yours and you can pick your favourite, unless they're both absolute stormers.
Oh, one of them is about Racing Around Pleasant and the other one is about Radiohead.
I think let's do Racing Mount Pleasant. Let's keep it proper 2025. Okay. We've discussed Radiohead enough.
Yeah. So this one is from Peltz. Not only is Racing Mount Pleasant's self-titled album the best of the year, it's the best album of the 2020s and will be, so this actually kind of links into Radiohead anyway, and will be until the end of the decade unless Radiohead release a new album. First of all, that's just crazy putting, if Radiohead drop, it's automatically going to be better. It could quite easily be a fucking shit album. I mean, Kevin did it. Being nasty now, no need.
But Radiohead are very much, they're human. They can make a bad album. Like the King of Limbs is like, that's like within the last 15 years. So I don't think the Radiohead thing is like really relevant to this conversation, to be honest. Yeah. However, I don't think it's the best of the 2020s. I don't think it's the best album this year either. And the main reason is it is very derivative of its influences, wears them on its sleeve, and I do think maybe at times it does lack a little bit of originality.
That was literally,
Same. With that being said, there is still some of the best, like jazz rock, post rock, whatever you want to categorize it as, music of the year on this. Yeah. Like, it is actually still a phenomenal album. The orchestral arrangements and like horn sections are probably the best of the entire year. Yeah. I think I also have my crescendo of the year on here on my favourite track, Emily. The end of that, when them horns screech. Yeah. Ridiculous.
I really like the title track. The title track was a standout for me. It was like
I really like that as well.
So infectious, and I was like, I just want to sing along, even though this is the first time I've ever heard.
And also, I think the album needed more upbeat moments like that. I feel like that's like definitely the most up-tempo. And it's not necessarily trying to convey that as an overall album experience, but I think when it's like 58 minutes long, does like maybe need a few more switch-ups. That's maybe
I do think it also did probably have a bit of fat that could have been cut off.
A little bit too long. And my other thing as well, as much as I think it's actually amazing, especially instrumentally and structurally, I thought that a lot of the themes they dive into is actually just quite surface level, like a lot of like love songs, relationships, obviously kind of a somewhat narrative of this Emily playing into it. And I know like the first track and the last track have like the same like riff appear sort of thing. So there is like definitely a sort of cohesiveness of the track list, which I do like, but I feel like could have been expanded on so much more.
Yeah. I also feel like, which is very rare for me, the voice of the frontman didn't quite resonate with me as much as other things, which doesn't, I very rarely, it's very, very rare for me to say, I actually just didn't dig the voice that much.
I actually really, really like his voice.
You know what it was? And I think it was because I was doing a lot of specifically Answering Up There comparisons, because it sounds so much like it at times. I wanted Isaac, and it just sounded like Isaac if he wasn't quite Isaac. And also, on that album in particular, Isaac has that ability to make topics that are so deep be like, it's just like a knife in the heart. So many songs, like it's literally the place where the blade's inside. Yeah. Whereas his voice, I didn't have that raw emotion and vulnerability come over in the same way.
I think that was, for me, not in terms of vocals, it was actually like lyrical content. I think that like Isaac, like you say, he's one of the best like emotive songwriters of the decade, of the century. And for me, that's where it lies. But as a vocalist, I actually, and excuses, I actually don't know his name, unfortunately. I really like his voice, and I actually think vocally they're on the same level for me. Like that isn't actually something. I actually really like his voice.
Voices is one of them things where it's like so subjective. Like you can't. I mean, there's so many people's voices that I love that you hate, and vice versa.
Yeah, 100%. But honestly, if you haven't listened to another massive underdog, Racing Mount Pleasant's debut, as well, if you like that, Kingfisher, their like previous outfit, their album from 2022, I think it is, could be wrong, but their one album they have out as well, that's really strong. And I think if you compare them to this like debut under the Mount Pleasant name,
is the 2022 album under Kingfisher?
That is Kingfisher, yeah.
But it's on
same people.
It's on their profile on streaming though.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, not on Apple Music.
It depends where you are, I guess then.
They're just two separate artists on mine. But yeah, fair. Very similar in style, but I feel like it was just very much more developed on this one, and it does suck me into this world, but it's mainly the orchestral and like horn arrangements that are just mind blowing. The saxophone in particular on this is
there is some incredible saxophone playing. Yeah,
absolutely stupid.
I mean, it's very rare that there's an album with saxophone on. I think I don't really like the saxophone.
Nah, but this is like peak of its power. All right, anyway, I've got one, and this will be the final one, I think.
Yeah, that's fine.
Who from Josiah Mitchell, who says that Rest in Bass is a top 5 rap album this year. I think this is the hot take I find most hot and agree with the least, to be honest. top 5 rap album this year. I mean, it's hard to compare to like even other underground artists because it's very like derivative of the rage subgenre. I just think that whole wave at the moment is so overrated. The artists aren't talented. If you look at a Rest in Bass, it is just a recipe for a migraine. I think on tracks like On Fleek, Shay actually sounds like he's having a manic episode. The auto-tune is screechy. It's not pleasant to listen to. And the production is like an absolute like soup with thorns in it that just stings the inside of your mouth or in your ears. Yeah. And people are saying like, oh, the beats are fire. Like some people that like don't mind the album, like the beats are fire, but the artist ruins it. The beats are not fire. People saying like Mannequin's one of the best beats of the year. No, it isn't. Yeah. Like the like stomping drums and stuff, like gives it a bit of a march, but it's just so distorted and it's the clipping is unbearable, especially with headphones.
I will admit, I've not listened to this album front to back. However, I've heard enough of it to make a judgment. Maybe lyrically it would blow me away and everything, but I've heard. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to. But
it's just the whole thing.
I've heard enough of it to hear the production quality, and that in itself is enough to automatically put me off. You can do maximal rage rap well, and it'd be like, Can't is a good example. As much as I don't like pop out, but that's another conversation. Yeah. But maximal production for a rage beat is so possible to do well and smoothly. This is like if you put a fucking AI generated make me a beat that sounds like the pop out beat and then just deep fried it 10 times.
No, that's where you're wrong. And I think like if you actually do come to listen to it, you will realise the pop out beat isn't even an example. It's so much far gone compared to that.
I'm just saying it's the rage sound.
It's like, yeah, but it's to a different level. Like this is completely.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Deep fry it 10 times.
Yeah, but it's like. It's not even that as well. It's like even like melodically, some of the more melodic performances on the album as well. There's nothing that like sticks melodically. It's very boring, formulaic track production, but then fried
like pop out.
Conversation for another day.
Just using that as my comparison point.
But
to be fair, it's not my most familiar genre, so I'm just making my comparisons where I can.
Like. If we go, and it's rap albums as well, but other underground releases, I don't think this, like the rage subgenre has had a very strong year at all. I think it is oversaturated now. It's time to move on. I mean, the artists like Yeet have obviously adopted that in his style, but now he's doing stuff. He's got like a bit of like a drum and bass song on his album. And I feel like he's like actually like really sort of pushing the boundaries and taking the genre forwards, where I find like a lot of these other artists are just copycats. Yeah. In terms of other underground rap, I feel like the more Kirk rap, gangster rap, boom bap revival side with like artists from in the Griselda collective as well as Freddie Gibbs. I've already spoke about that. That is where it's shining. Like Billy Wood's album this year was really good. Arm & Hammer's album was amazing as well as so many more. Benny the Butcher's West Side Guns projects throughout this year have been really solid. There's so much more that I could go on to shout out. We spoke about quite a lot of the rap releases in this year that we've enjoyed as well that are just better. Top 5's genuinely insane. It's one of the worst albums, all genres I've heard of this year.
Bottom 5 albums of the year, potentially.
Genuinely, yeah. That and Asarmuson's album Psychotic, both of them are genuinely, like, I just don't get the hype at all. And it's a shame. Like, I really did like the original Rage scene. Yeah. Like, obviously, Carti's All Out Red, one of my favourite rap albums ever. And then a lot of even Ken's Project X, I really enjoyed that. No Stylist, Destroy Lonely, that was super strong. I like I said, I like Yeet, I like Trippie Redd's Trip at Night. There's so many good stuff, like there's so many good albums, but now I just can't get behind it at all. Can't get behind it.
Maybe it's just the world's moved on. Maybe there'll be a Rage revival one day.
That'd be cool to see, actually. That would be interesting.
In like 20 years, of like a much more modern sounding version of the same kind of thing. Well, I can see it happening. Music's always circular with these kind of things.
Yeah, but that's why I think Yeet is actually quite good. Like an album like 2093, it's disturbing. It feels like that futuristic British style, which has its own unique.
Yeet, as much as I'm not a massive Yeet guy, I'll give him that. He is probably one of the most futuristic sounding artists today.
Yeah. And also just boundary pushing for the lane he operates in, because everyone else is just, they're so boring and they all sound the same. Yeah. And we'll finish off with another comment. We don't need to discuss it loads, but I just completely agree with what Nate Gibbs says. He says that if the rest of the decade continues at the same level, the 2020s will be a better decade in terms of quality of albums than the 2010s. I think it's really hard because you've got to look at so much music. I genuinely do think, though, that is quite possible. Like, if you look at some of the releases in the first 5 years of this decade, it's insane.
I think part of it comes down to, as much as I was into music in the 2010s, obviously, like, being properly into music has been a 2020s thing. Starting around 14 in lockdown is when I got properly into music.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a thing of, but actually, no, I don't know if that does give it negative points, because like some of the most nostalgic stuff that is my early days is like 2017, 2018 stuff.
Yeah.
But I do think there is actually, if I had to say like my favorite albums and some of the best stuff from, even if you go from the year 2000 onwards, I think most of it already is probably in the 2020s.
Yeah. I
think the 2020s is, you know what? I think the 2020s already are better than the 2010s and the 2000s.
See, I don't think it's 5 years of material. I don't think that's even like fair to compare, because I feel like once you like look at some of the best of each decade,
that's what I'm saying. That I think if I pick out my favourite stuff of the last 25 years,
I don't think there's enough, because it's just by an output and volume thing with like the 2000s and 2020s. It's but to be fair,
that's the thing, that I'm also not massive on. A lot of my stuff isn't the 2000s and the 2010s are probably my most listened to decades out of everything from the 60s onwards.
Genuinely probably my two most.
I know.
Yeah. It's just interesting how we differ in that realm. But I feel like it's actually just a bit silly to say, though, that the 2020s are better than the 2010s and 2000s, because you've only got...
I'm not necessarily saying they're better, but I'm saying if I had to pick, let's say, my top 50 albums of the last 25 years, I think there would be more in the last 5 years than there would be from the 2010s or the 2000s.
Good idea to do that, actually, as a video idea. We could do a top 10 of the 21st century, because I actually would be interested to see the proportion for both of us, because as much as I was saying, like, 2000s, 2010s, I would be even intrigued to see which one of them wins for me. But yeah, I think that is an interesting point and a valid one. I do think that the 2020s can become the best. Yeah. It's too early to say for me. Yeah. Like, we don't know what the next 5 years is gonna hold.
And maybe we'll do another one of these videos in the next 5 years.
All right, if we're still going in 5 years, that'll be amazing. But yeah, that probably brings us to a good point to say.
And also, if you want us to be going in 5 years, subscribe, like the video, leave a comment. Can you start reminding us to plug ourselves at the end of videos, because we never do it? Subscribe, share to anyone who think you would enjoy this. Just keep being the Scorching Hot fans.
You cut me off. I was saying thank you for your support. Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, we're coming to the end of the year now, and we're doing this for like 8 months. It'll be when this comes out, and genuinely, it has been absolutely amazing, and we couldn't do it without your guys' support. Mm-hmm. So I just want to give a heartfelt, genuine, like, appreciation for all the comments and nice things, and being able to, and like coming up to us when we're out and about. It genuinely, like, it means the world. Yeah, it does. So yeah, thank you, and keep it coming, because we've got a lot of good stuff planned, videos wise, as well as some extra sort of directions and ventures we're going to go on. So you'll be seeing all that. Make sure you're following our socials.
Big things to come.
Make sure you're following the socials, because that's where you get all the updates. But yeah, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Au revoir.
Toodles.